back to another maybe number 6 now, tarot reading with me. And today is a really special one. I know I say that every video, but this is for a belated birthday boy. Drum roll please. Nikki from ENHYPEN, the baby, who's not really a baby anymore. Wow. It's interesting because ENHYPEN is one of those groups, and it could just be because I bias them, but like I really never have trouble connecting with their energy, really. Sunghoon is the only one that be liking to fuck with me a little bit, but I actually kind of felt Nikki's energy for a couple of days, like weighing on my spirit, and I can kind of already feel some of the things that may be on his mind. So I said, let's just do the reading, like I said in my Jungwon video, and you can go check that out. I think that ENHYPEN has a lot going on, and I really do plan to read on all of them, but let's just get to shuffling. There have been some things that I've been seeing in relation to Nikki that I don't like. Not that he's doing, but just like certain things that don't make sense to me. Like, why are non-Japanese members going on Japanese shows without the Japanese member? You know, silly little things like that. I just feel like it's a bit odd, you know. And one thing that's really been bothering me is the fact that like Nikki hasn't been home in 5 years. Like, maybe I don't get the industry like I think I do, but I'm like, you telling me in 5 years y'all didn't have a weekend where you were like, go home? You know what I mean? Like, they think it's a little okay. But nonetheless, we're gonna see how Nikki feels, you know. Every idol isn't always as uncomfortable with certain things they express as you are, because I think oftentimes we put ourselves in the shoes of said idol, and like, well, I couldn't do it, but you know, everybody has their limits. You know, we don't know everything about people's lives, but we are going to do this check-in to, you know, see where Nikki's at energetically, mentally, love, all of those things. So yes, I love Nikki. He's literally so talented, and he's so young, and he's already done so much. So I just can't even wait to see what the future holds for him. But let's see how Nikki, how are you holding up? How are you doing? Okay, so we're gonna just do an overall energy at first, as you guys know. So what is your energy right now, Nikki? Okay, so I like that. Okay. So, and this is something that I've caught on with when it comes to Nikki. Nikki is really a really pure soul, and he's somebody who very much so values family and relationships and camaraderie. And I do think it has something to do with his age, but also just like that's just him in general. What I see with these cards, the Three of Cups is about community and friendships and like hanging out and having fun. So I think that is something that he has been doing a lot lately. It could be with the members of ENHYPEN, it could be with other idols or just people that he's met since he's been in the industry. But I see him being very social, because that's kind of the thing that's helping him get through. I get this energy from Nikki as I'm channeling that, like, because 10% of reverse is somebody who's doesn't regulate their emotions well. 10% right is about like everything in moderation, and like everything isn't always good, everything isn't always bad, but you have a good balance of like dealing with those things. I don't think Nikki has a good balance of dealing with those things, but there seems to be some like connection, because I see in my mind's eye, like I see Nikki and I see him hanging out with people and like having fun, and through those relationships he's learning how to regulate his emotions, and he's learning how to kind of pulling himself together. You may not even know that when you're around him, but like he is using the friendship and the community that he has around him to kind of heal and to gain clarity and learn different things about why he's feeling the way he's feeling, and like this lack of emotional peace and regulation and things of that nature that I feel like he's lacking through friendship, through the power of friendship. I think that he is learning to have patience and be more in harmony with himself. Learning how to protect his energy, because I don't think that he does that well. And I think he knows it. But through a friendship or multiple friendships, like I said, it could be the members, it could be like being more intentional about spending time with them and like hanging out, having fun and making friends and like things like that. I think that he is now starting to kind of mentally awaken. The Ace of Swords is about him being in an era where he's gaining a lot of clarity about things. And it could even be like maybe he didn't realize how much he wasn't settled in his tummy emotionally with certain things, and like a friendship or a group of people he's gotten really close to lately have kind of exposed him to that. Now, the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Six of Pentacles, like I said, is a very generous person. It's someone who gives from the kindness of their heart. In the reverse, it's kind of like shitty exchanges in the sense of like, there might be somebody that's giving you things, but it's for ulterior motives. So I feel like this can be in relation to like the company. Because honestly, what I see when I pick up this card is like, like opportunities given unfairly, or like him feeling like things are purposely being like held back from him that he feels like he deserves for like malicious reasons. Four of Swords is in the reverse, which is can represent being like super burnt out. Sometimes it can represent being not burnt out, or that's not proper. It can represent getting out of that burnt outness, slowly coming back into the world, because you've been able to rest. But we know that they haven't been able to rest, so I doubt that that's what that is. Okay, so how is Nikki feeling as a member of Enhypen? His role. Okay, so there actually might be an opportunity that he's recently gotten, or the group has gotten, that he's very happy about, that he feels like can turn into something that can give him some long-term success. But the moon is about secrets and confusions and things not being clear. I think that Nikki did go through a rough patch with the company for sure. For sure, but I think that Nikki is naturally, I'm not going to say he's an optimistic person, but like Nikki is one of those people where like relationships and love for something can kind of make him be able to like not give a fuck, or not allow negativity to infiltrate him, because he's like, you know, because the Ace of Pentacles is about a golden opportunity. So in terms of the group, I think that he's grateful for it, to be in Enhypen. I think that there may be an opportunity that was just presented to him, or the group that he feels like can be really good for them in the long run. The moon is a bit of confusion. So I don't know if this is surrounding the opportunity itself, but the moon is confusion, secrets, things not being clear. Something that's unsettled. Ten of Swords in the reverse is like after being stabbed in the back, or after hitting a really low point. So he definitely hit a low point within the group recently, or like previously, but he's getting out of that. The Hierophant is about taking the straight and narrow track, but like it's never a bad thing. It's just more like structure and tradition. I kind of see him realizing that if he's going to get what he wants, he kind of just has to play the role. K-pop is a system, the people are a system, and I think that the Hierophant is also just staying true to how you were raised, how you grew up, your values, and I think that that's kind of just what he's sticking to. The Ace of Cups is a card of love, and like I think that this is him loving being a member of Enhypen, loving himself, you know what I'm saying? Like I think that he's just, I keep getting his energy. He's somebody who really tries his best to not be negative and tries to be grateful, even when shit is not going his way, even when shit isn't necessarily making sense. It's almost like he's telling me in my mind's eye, why would I sit here and stress about things? Because there are things that don't make sense here with the moon. And he has hit a very low rock bottom, I don't trust anyone like phase, but he's kind of like, why sit in that when I can just be me, be the person I was raised to be, the person that I've been, that got me this far. And I think that he realizes that's the way he can stay happy, if that makes sense. So, okay. Nikki's being very straightforward. That's just him though. How's Nikki doing mentally? Okay, so that's about being at a crossroads. No cups. The Two of Swords, when you ask a question about anything, it's kind of like an I don't know. I think that the Two of Swords is about knowing that you have to choose between a certain two things or two paths or something, and you're unable to make a decision. It's like being stuck in indecision. I don't know what to do. So when we're asking about mental health, there would be something in regards to his mental health that he is questioning doing. Like he doesn't really want to have to make a decision about it, but he knows that like the time is kind of coming for that. Can y'all see this? Eight of Pentacles in the reverse is, Pentacles represent work. He is a K-pop idol. Eight of Pentacles is typically a card of like apprenticeship and hard work and like finally getting to where you want to be, and now you just kind of have to put in the work to excel at it. So this could be, this is an interesting one. Because honestly, in my mind's eye, I kind of see something, and I'm just going to say it, like, we'll never know. I think that Nikki may have in the past been working on his mental health, or like maybe going to therapy, or like doing some type of practice that addresses some of the things that run through his mind, but I almost feel like he's kind of in a place of like, I don't think I want to do that anymore. Like I said, there's no cups here. There's nothing really relevant to emotions. Now, this also could be about him feeling like work and responsibilities is something that kind of gets in the way of his mental well-being, or like him taking care of his mental health. I know that Nikki is like Nikki, and we see him as like the nonchalant vibe, or like other people see him as that. it's like a running joke. But I, honestly, when I'm in Nicki's energy, he's actually very mature for his age in terms of like his identity with mental health and like knowing certain things about himself. Like I don't think he's somebody that like takes mental health as a joke. I don't see any cards here that kind of represent like not believing that mental health is a thing. But like I think that like he's just a very like when I'm in his energy, like all he's telling me is like I just have to do what I have to do. Like that's just what it is. King of Pentacles is similar to Jungwon. I got the same card for Jungwon actually, and this is about somebody who, rather than prioritizing their mental health, they're most focused on their careers. They're focused on their long-term goals. The King of Pentacles is about his money. He's a nice guy. It's upright. It's not malicious, but he's focused on his career. And it's almost like it could be with this Eight of Pentacles in the reverse that he kind of knows that if he were to kind of address certain things with his mental health, it would get in the way of work. Seven of Wands is somebody very defensive, so I think that if you were to ask Nicki about his mental health, he probably would bite. Because Nicki just, his energy feels like somebody who he's like, any problem I have, I can handle it myself. I don't need nobody to come and handle nothing for me. That's what it gives. Like, he's like, let me handle my shit. Even though I don't know what's going on, I don't know what to do, I don't always know what to do. That doesn't mean that I need anybody to come and step in and tell me what to do. Because the Five of Pentacles definitely represents mentally him feeling very unsupported at sometimes, mentally not being in a good place, feeling like he doesn't have what he needs. But reverses is like him feeling like he's coming out of it on his own almost. Like, I'm not always okay, but when I'm not okay, I make sure I'm good. Like, I'm focused on me. Like, that's what it kind of gives. But the Two of Swords is some type of crossroads in terms of his mental health. Why the Two of Swords? Okay. The Empress is... That's interesting. So we have the Empress. The Empress upright is somebody very in touch with their emotions and a nurturing person. I do think that Nicki... It's almost like he may kind of just know that he's not himself, but he doesn't really have time to address it right now. And he's like, what should I do? Because I definitely think it is affecting things. But I just really feel like Nicki's the type of person that's like, let's say a member was like, yo, Nicki, like, do you want to talk? He's like, no, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. Like, I got it. But in reality, I do think help would be useful for him. He just feels like it would get in the way of things. Like, dealing with things would get in the way of things. But it is on his mind because we got the Two of Swords. You have that crossroads for a reason. But the Empress reverse is like it's a lack of nurturing energy. He may find himself like, it's almost like he's starting to realize mentally he's not doing okay. Maybe other people already noticed a long time ago. But like, he personally is starting to come with terms that like, I'm not as nice as I used to be. I'm not as nurturing. He could have trouble just expressing his emotions, period. But like, the Empress reverse is like a card of like, I may love you or whatever the case may be, or care about you or whatever, but like I don't show it well. So that could also be just one of his problems. He feels like, what should I do about this fact that I'm kind of discovering about myself? Interesting. All right, Nicki, what's going on in love, romance? Okay, so that's not good. But I mean, it's not bad, but it's not like. So there's definitely, Nicki definitely has no motion in the love department. And I don't think this is something that he likes, but like it is what it is. The Page of Cups is always kind of, to me, somebody who lacks experience in romantic relationships, whether it's upright or reversed. But reverse, this represents emotional immaturity. It's also, Jesus Christ, it can also represent someone who is kind of not just emotionally immature, but like emotionally constipated. Pages are very childish, whether you like it or not. And I feel like when we're addressing love, it's kind of one of those things where, like, how do I say what I'm trying to say? He's definitely just not mature enough right now for a relationship. And I think that, like, he just doesn't have a lot of experience romantically, so it's like making things hard. The Fool is being open to new experiences, but the Chariot reverses delays and stagnancy in love. So is the Eight of Wands. Those two side by side. He is hitting a major roadblock delay when it comes to romantic relations, but I think it's not that he's not open to it. But the Fool is also somebody who is not necessarily pressed. Just, sorry, I don't have the hiccups. YOLO vibes. So the Sun is in reverse. So this is like a lack of happiness. Now, this could just represent him not being satisfied with his love life, but it's also represent his mental state once again of like him not being in the most sunshine, bright place. Even though he is trying to kind of just like use his love for things and for the people around him as motivation, I think that this is about romantic relationships in general. He may just feel like he's not happy enough as a person, but I also think this is just like disappointment. The Sun reverse can also be a card that represents immaturity. So I think that he kind of feels like he's not immature. He's not mature enough for a relationship, or like he's being made to feel that way. The Sun reverse is just like, not being happy. It's a lack of joy. Sometimes it can represent somebody who allegedly is like depressed or like not in a place. But I think with the Fool, it's not reversed. So I think that there is an innocent part of him that wants to like see what it feels like to be in a relationship and to like give somebody a chance. Maybe it will go somewhere, maybe it won't. He's open to it, but I just think that he's not mature enough, which is making him like experience delays. He feels like he's experiencing delays and stagnancy in love. Like maybe he has talked to girls and like as soon as it starts, it ends, or like he can never get something to really take off. The Fool is like the beginning, right? So he can always get somebody. If that's been his experience, he can always pull them in, but it's like not too long after that shit just dies. And it just really could just be his lack of emotional maturity. That is the problem. So, or like experience in the love department where you're not experienced, you might do certain things that, or maybe the people he's talking to, I think he would do best. I see this in my mind's eye talk to somebody who's kind of like similar to him in the love department. He doesn't really need to talk to somebody overly experienced because I think it's always just gonna kind of end up like dying off before it can even like really take off because he just doesn't have the same experience. He may be talking to people with a lot of experience. He doesn't have their experience, so they get like frustrated with him or feel like he's not mature enough to like talk to them or whatever emotionally. Because remember, he's Empress reversed, so that's somebody who can be smothering, but also like is not in touch with their emotions in the way that they should be in a healthy way. Okay, this reading is going by quick, fast, and in a hurry. 2026 for Nikki. Okay, that's impulsive decisions. So it's interesting that the only positive card here is the Ten of Cups, which is representing like close emotional bonds. I think friendship wise he might be okay in 2026, and it may be through the power of friendship and the people that he's closest to, family, or the Knight of Swords in the reverse is someone who is very impulsive and reckless with their words. It could be a literal moment, it could be a couple of months of it, a week of just him. I feel like he might snap a little in 2026 in regards to something. The Five of Swords is petty conflict, also somebody being like a porcupine, very overly defensive energy, like, you know what I mean? Two of Wands in the reverse is a lack of direction. Eight of Cups in the reverse, though, is like knowing that you need to like emotionally evolve and like remove yourself from certain things or situations, but you won't. And the Ten of Cups is emotional fulfillment. Can I get clarity, please? Queen of Wands. I don't think that there's going to be something that he feels very passionate feelings about, or he might just do something very reckless or say something reckless that he shouldn't say, but it's real. It's like, it may be the truth, but you don't have to say it like that. It could be like on live, it could be to a fan, it could be to his members, it could be to the company, but I think he's going to say something that might cause a little drama or might be involved in a little bit of drama in 2026 in regards to like something reckless he did or says or approaches. Two of Wands versus lack of direction, so he may be feeling like a little lost in 2026 of like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, there's just this energy of like maybe him wanting to leave, and not even like, I'm not saying leave the group, but like the Ten of Cups is about the thing that's most important to him is like the people that he cares about and like that care about him, his family, his friends, whoever he considers to be like his family, whether it's by blood or chosen. Queen of Wands is somebody very passionate, inspired, driven, and this doesn't have to just be about like his career. It could just be about how he feels about things. Like, I want to get my point across, and you know, it may not come out in the best way, but I think he wants to get a point across in 2026 that may stir up a little bit of chaos. So we're going to pull some oracle for Nikki. So let's get into right now. I'm gonna pull three for right now. Nikki for right now. What's going on? Find an oracle. He also might be getting involved. I got this card for jumping into with more spiritual practices or like discovering something, tarot, astrology, meditation, yoga. This matches what I said, guys. The manifestation card. Yeah. I don't know, like, is it Hyphen gonna go get a freaking tarot reading together or something? Like, for content or something? Like, I don't know. But I think that for now, he is really trying to be positive. We have manifest. So you see on the cards it says, I choose courage, my voice matters, abundance follows me, I am love. So I think that he's really just trying to focus, or needs to be focused on, like, just setting intentional goals and, like, being intentional about them. And, like, reconnected with his inner child to kind of help him push forward for this year. Whatever is attached to the inner child, which I think is just like I said, K-pop idols are human beings. None of them necessarily have had to have this perfect life that we kind of see them as having. You never know what somebody's been through. So I kind of get the energy that this isn't Nikki's first time kind of hitting a rough patch, which is why he's more comfortable to just be like, I got it, I'll deal with it. But I definitely think that he needs to kind of be more intentional, or is going to be more intentional about, like, how do you say, like, putting his destiny into his own hands, speaking highly of himself, being positive even if things are negative, even if things are confusing, even if he feels like he's getting hoed, whatever the case may be. That I'm just gonna be positive. I'm gonna say these positive affirmations, and you know what I mean. I think your inner child is often attached to why you're still here, right? Like why you did this, and because he became a K-pop idol and trained at such a young age, I think that he's using his love with that Ace of Cups that came out earlier for like music and dancing and musicality as like his drive, and that's what works for him. What about 2026? So 2026 we have inner strength. So he's definitely, like I said, gonna have to learn to rely on that in your bag. Could definitely be some opportunities for Nicki. And then we have follow the spark. But it was reversed, and I don't do reversals in this deck, but because they came out together, I think that in order for him to find his spark, Nicki is going to have to kind of do some spiritual cleansing, and that can make sense of like why that Eight of Cups in the reverse came out, because he's going to try to kind of withhold that, or not do that, or avoid that, because he's comfortable where he's at. Even if it's not comfortable, he's comfortable. He'd rather be comfortable in like some shit that he doesn't like than to be uncomfortable in some shit he doesn't know. But I think that like he has to kind of spiritually cleanse, which is why he might be getting pushed to like, you know, do the psychic whatever services that he might get into. Tidy up is a card that comes out when you need to cleanse in order to make it to the next step that you want to make it to. People, things, yourself, tidying up. And I think that once he does that, he will find his spark again. So yeah, thank you guys so much. That was way quicker than I anticipated. But Nicki made it easy. So yeah, let me know what member, comment below what member y'all want next. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and also don't be afraid to book a reading with me. If you want to know how compatible you and Nicki are, if you guys were born in the same world, if you want to know, you know, are you going to pass your test or whatever the case may be, when you make it to that concert, please, please, please book a reading with me. I think the majority of the people that watch my videos watch them through Tumblr, so everything that you need to book a reading is in there. I hope you guys have the best day ever. I love you guys so much.